All right, so thank you both for being here. This is the just an ad hoc meeting. We have primarily one agenda item, which is to vote on whether or not to publish the 2024-25 housing report. Um, so I have on here, depending on who was here, that we could approve the September minutes, but I don't think we have. Um, oh no, it was the three of us. We could.
I don't know if was I there for the last one? Was that one that I
I
was here for?
have I have that it was the three of us. Yeah.
Okay.
Does someone want to make a motion to approve the September minutes?
So moved.
I will
Thank
second
you.
that.
Excellent. All those in favor of approving the September minutes say yes.
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 Yes. Excellent. Okay, so the 2024 housing report, I sent you the final draft. Um, and I just wanted to go through a couple of things. One, I wanted to follow up on the conversations that I had with Chris Flynn about the numbers. So after our meeting in September, I shared with him my spreadsheets that have like the raw data. So the permit or certification number, ID number, the date it was approved, and the address. And so he went through and confirmed that all the certificates of occupancy were correct. He had there was one building permit that was actually a change of use and not a new construction. And there was one building permit that wasn't in my list. And it just so happens that they were in the same residential district. They were the same size. Like it didn't affect the numbers at all, but just in the background,
Mhm.
they kind of like replaced each other one for one. But just so you know that he took a look at those and confirmed the data. So the numbers that are in the report are correct as of that. Um, what was the other thing that I wanted to tell you?
Do you have ghosts in your house?
I
The
have a
door just
daughter.
opened and
I have
closed
a
again.
daughter and dog that keep going
Oh,
back and forth, and she's following the dog, and so she's. Um, I found a typo in one of the tables, so I fixed the typo. Um, and I changed the wording. I changed one bit of wording from what you saw. I'll share it just so that you, for full transparency, can you see that document?
Yeah.
The way it was written in the version that you got, it said, let's see, Jericho private wastewater systems serving entire developments, indicating that private wastewater systems um, are a feasible and more affordable alternative. But the data that we're citing doesn't actually give us any information about whether or not it's more affordable. So I just changed the words around to be more accurate. I wanted to include more affordable because that's why we're talking about it as a good thing. But I didn't want to be misleading in that our data that we report here supports that. It doesn't support it or not support it. We just didn't include data to make that argument one way or the other. So
We
that
could
changed.
change it from it are often more affordable to can be more affordable.
Sure.
is that, and what is it? Is that even like the case? I mean,
If you're going to have larger numbers of people in a small lot size where you cannot put down septic on their own, yes.
yeah,
And
okay.
even if you have like 20 people, 20 houses, and they may have enough land for their own septic, but they don't want to do that, it still works.
Yeah, I
And
guess I
putting
understood
in
that.
one system.
I was just wondering about the difference between the affordability of that versus public wastewater. That's where my mind
Oh,
went. And it was probably not
Yeah, yeah,
meant that
sure.
way.
No, I think,
yeah.
well, in particular, we're pointing out that it's a feasible alternative in rural areas.
Hmm.
Um, but I hear what you're saying.
I would look at it still as we don't have public wastewater, so that's a kind of a non-issue there. But compared to forcing everybody to have a private septic system, the community systems are, I believe, a lot less expensive.
Yeah. So if that's the comparative, then I understand the more affordable piece.
Okay. Okay, so those are the only changes from the document that I sent around. And Frederica, thank you for your work on that final draft. The the kind of summary and recommendation section is just organized a little bit differently and much more clearly. And then we took the suggestion, I can't remember whose suggestion it is now to give credit to, but of including the 2024 recommendations and the progress for each of those to kind of show what has been done, what hasn't been done. Um, so that's the difference from what we discussed in September. Um, so I think
Yeah.
that's everything.
So I when I reorganized it, and you got my most recent one after Susan's,
Yes.
that's there, right? And when I reorganized it, it was just like the way it kind of went in my mind, went better in my mind. I just had a couple of tiny little things,
Mm-hmm.
like
Let's do
where
it.
the section where you just were.
Yeah, let me share my screen again so that I make sure that I get it right. Um, mm,
So
there we go. Yeah.
you see that last bullet point? Yeah,
Uh,
where we just were, that one, the
uh-huh.
HOA one. It should be a bullet point.
And as
The
opposed to an M dash. Yeah.
Yeah, before the HOA
Oh,
inventory.
this guy. I see it. Yep.
Yeah, those things are incredibly important to me. Um,
Got it.
and then there was a let me see if I can find it on my own iteration here more easily. There was just um gosh, it was toward the beginning where there was an infinitive after an infinitive that didn't work. Hmm. I wish I was just looking at it and I didn't make targeted for growth. It was a typo, and if I find it again, is it okay if I just send it to you? It was really just a typo.
Yeah, I think we can make the motion. Allow for that.
Yeah, it was like one word that had a typo in it, is all. And I probably can't find it right now.
Okay. Eric, did you see anything that you want to call out
No,
while we're in
I think
it?
anything I wanted to bring up, I
Oh,
brought
I
up last
found
time
it.
we looked at this.
I
Okay.
found it. I found it. I found it. Um, so it's still on the first page, down the second to last bullet point. It says aiming to encouraging. And I think
Oh,
you can just take out the aiming to, actually, and just leave encouraging.
okay. Yep.
And that's all I had.
Excellent.
The rest reads pretty good, I think.
Cool. Do we want to make a motion to publish? And so I will also just say for the record, once we publish, what I'll do is save this as a PDF. I'll send it out to everybody on our committee, obviously, and have it posted to the website. I will distribute it to Paula and Linda to be shared with the select board, to Chris and Susan to be shared with the planning commission, and then to Chris Flynn to be shared with the DRB. And when I send that email, I will offer that we'd be happy to present the findings if groups would like us to.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Yep.
I
Um,
so move. I move that we publish this.
I will
And
second that.
Excellent. Okay. Any other discussion?
I had a question. I can ask it
Sure.
now or later, about the one section in there. That's the section that Susan had also had questions about with the Regional Planning Commission identifying areas that are not, that we think are not suitable. And I wasn't really sure. I probably missed the meeting where that was discussed. You know what I mean? It was for,
No, can you say a little more?
yeah, okay, I'll find it. Why do I keep closing it when I think I'm all done and then I have to open it again? Um, I found it when I was looking at it a couple minutes ago. Yeah, it's are these, yeah, page 5, the second paragraph, the first full paragraph. It should be noted.
Relies heavily on areas of Jericho that are not available or suitable for the amount of development needed to meet their target goals for our town. This is because the future land use map has village centers, our village centers targeted as the growth areas with very limited areas beyond that just into village. And so all of our analysis has and our discussions have shown that there's very little opportunity there,
Mhm.
with the exception of Riverside, I will say. Um,
Yeah.
so technically,
So,
a
okay.
large amount of development could happen in Riverside, which is a part of the growth area.
Mm,
Um, But when they're talking about infill and targeting growth, they're only looking at our village centers, and with the exception of Riverside, our village centers aren't capable of supporting that kind of growth.
yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure whether it was referring to the village centers or some other areas that they had identified. Okay,
Um,
that makes sense.
do you want to?
And what is, yeah, I mean, available, that meaning available would be like basically if they're already built up, and suitable would be if we just don't, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Suitable, available because there's not, because there, it would require a lot of subdivisions. Like there's not big, again, with the exception of Riverside, and suitable because most of the soils are tapped in all of those areas.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I guess it
but
says what, yeah, but only because Susan had question about the same paragraph, and I wasn't sure how to answer that because I wasn't sure what it referred to on the land use map. But it makes sense when you say it was because the land use map just basically identified the village
so
centers.
maybe it is. Let me just turn on track changes so that I don't lose it. In case we don't
I
like
think
it.
part of what you're looking at, Frederica, is that's those areas are like the Griswold subdivision, the Jericho East subdivision, the center of town. They've all been developed on 1 acre, half-acre lots, and saying we're going to have a lot of growth in that area. It would
Mm,
require people to sell their existing lots and
mm.
put on a duplex, a triplex, or something in there, which is it's kind of unrealistic.
So was Jericho East and Griswold, was that part of the, because I haven't really looked, I looked at the land use map, but only when it was first proposed, and all it looked like, it was very small. They didn't really blow it up on the meeting that I was at, and yeah, it just looked like village centers. I think Jericho East and Griswold are in the village district, not the village center district, right? Or
Yeah.
and they've
Jericho East is a little bit more in the village center, but Griswold is right in the village district.
okay.
As in those parts of Old Pump Road up until you get just across the river, I
Until you
think it
get to the
is.
10-acre zone, yeah.
Yeah, and everything that's around the school
Hmm.
is also in that district. So that's I think it's Lawrence Heights and Sunnyview and a few other ones like that.
So that's,
And
but that's village, not village center, right?
no, I think those are village center.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, village center is Route 15 and Lee River Road. For that one, and then the other one that's village center is the triangle around the Jericho Market on the Underhill side, on Riverside,
Hmm.
and then just the area around the general store on Browns Trace.
We did push, we meaning the subcommittee of the Planning Commission that worked with CCRPC on the future land use map. We did push to expand the growth areas as much as we could. And the expansion that we were able to get was mostly areas that were served by water.
Well,
So
if I recall correctly, we extended it up to Orr Road. So the intersection of Orr Road and Route 15, that's Clark's Garage, and the intersection of Orr Road and Lee River Road, which doesn't really exist because the last 150, 200 feet of that are not a road anymore. But anyway, that's there. And then that triangle between Lee River Road coming down
It's a
from Jericho
triangle.
Corners.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's the whole,
that whole
the
area
whole
is what they're
brown
trying to say
triangle.
we should do that. But the vast majority of that is already developed in half acre, 1 acre, 2 acre lots. So it's nice to say we'll do something there, but
Mm,
one,
yeah.
it'd be
But
hard. And
yeah,
also
so
the town forest is in the middle of all of that.
right. But again, to my point, as far as this paragraph is concerned, if we're thinking about areas like Jericho East, that's village, not village center. So we shouldn't put village center in the paragraph as being unsuitable because of the argument that you
Well,
made with the
let
way it's
me
already developed.
let me make sure that
It's part of that triangle, but it's village, not village
let me
center.
make sure that CCRPC future land use map. Let me just make sure that the map.
And I
I
think
know
Griswold too.
we talked about it in our last. Uh,
Yeah, Griswold is absolutely in that district because it goes up
In the
to
village district, yes.
in the village center district for Jericho,
I'm not
for
sure about
Jericho
that.
Corners.
I'm staring at
Um,
it.
I don't
And
have it open in front of me, so
I'm staring
uh,
at it and where's Orr? There's Orr Road. Orr Road is, as you said. Anyway, it doesn't have the street names on it, my version that I'm looking at. Which of course
1 second. I don't know if my internet is slow or if the website is slow. I'll share it in just a second. How do I turn on? Draft future land use map. There we go. And, doing what I want to be doing, but I'll share what I'm doing so that you're not just looking at me struggling. Share. Mm. Oh, it's because I'm not in Vermont. I'm in another Jericho.
oh,
Oh.
that won't work.
That would explain why it looks There we go. Okay.
Let me,
This looks
yeah,
more like
all
So
right.
what I,
Silly Hill is right at the, Silly Hill Road is right where Village Center. And then there's a few more streets, and I guess Griswold, I think Griswold is, you're right, Griswold is on the,
Mhm.
okay,
be
so
the-
we did get them to include a lot of the village.
Yeah, so if you look at,
Between, we didn't get them to, that's right. We made a case for the commercial district, which they didn't
yeah.
take, but they agreed to make it transitional.
Mhm.
So it does include village, which I would argue is still limiting, but to update that paragraph, which I think is what you're suggesting, Frederica.
oh, just to
Um,
clarify it, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's go
So
back
where's the planned,
to,
where is that planned growth area there? I see dark
so the
pink and I
dark
see light
purple,
pink, but I don't see the in between that is planned growth area.
I think that that both of those are,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I
I
believe
think
that the planned
so.
growth area is that area just adjoining the village center. So between, yeah, right where your cursor is right now, all of
I,
that is
s-
planned growth area.
I see what you're saying though, village area, center. I see your,
I'm just being ornery.
no, it's important. We were talking about this at the last planning commission. Like it is really, we talk about the growth areas, but I think it's important to understand what the boundaries of those growth areas are that we're talking about. And what you're saying um, is a
Yeah,
good point that I don't actually see the purple
I don't see the
color
growth.
that you're talking about. I only
Yeah,
see village
I don't know
area.
that you can assume that they mean both the village center and the village area. If I don't actually see that, I don't actually see that.
The reason that I now having this conversation, I agree. I want to go back and double check. The reason I feel pretty confident about it though is because in some of their other charts, when they present this, they
Mm-hmm.
include village and village area as the areas that are um, available for tier 1B funding or whatever it is that is
Right.
tied to the growth area designation. And so that's why I
Yeah.
think, um, and
Yeah.
their village here, what they're designating village, lines up pretty well with our district, our zoning district, but they were making their own determinations. So there may be some slight
Um,
differences between our district
Okay. Yeah,
the
SJ, can you
so
town.
let me share and I'll pull up what was on the meeting, just last meeting, so we can
Oh,
all
perfect.
be
Yeah.
together with this here.
There you go.
I need to find my share screen piece. There we go. I haven't been using Zoom quite so much. All right, so two
Oh,
maps to
hold
look
on.
at.
I don't see it yet. Unless I have my settings funny. Oh, there it is. Okay.
there we go. It's
Okay,
starting.
okay.
There you go.
So let's look at the first one is where does growth come from? And that's the current village areas. That's these yellow pieces here on the side where my
Mm-hmm.
cursor is running. And
Hmm.
then there's the map that SJ just showed us a few seconds ago. Proposed growth areas being the village center and the village area,
Mm-hmm.
which again is those dark purple and the light purples. The tan is basically future growth or something they want to do with.
I
Uh,
see.
okay. And then on the next page, we go to future plan coming through there. And the map on the left, this is coming from CCRPC.
No, that's coming from the planning commission. That's our town plan. The
Okay,
first
yes,
slide.
town plan,
Yeah.
yes, you're right. Yeah. And there again, you've got the village center, village core, or village neighborhoods, and then all these yellow are growth areas for infill. And the zoning map is over here on the other side, where again, you've got your village centers in the different colors. You've got the village in the lighter bluish, and then low density residential for where things are coming. So if I can zoom.
But to your previous point, Frederica, that makes me Chris Shaheen, the town planner, um, is based on the previous slide, is under the same impression that the village center and the village districts that are shown in pink are the designated growth areas as designated by the CCRPC.
Okay, and I think that lines up, except that we
Mhm.
have additional infill areas that we've identified, that the Planning Commission has identified in yellow, as you just said.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, does that paragraph still apply?
Yeah, let's look at the text of that paragraph.
I think it does.
I think it,
And
Yeah,
go
I think
ahead,
it's not
Eric.
gonna be, it's not gonna be the only source of growth.
but we are relying primarily on saying we want to grow in those areas.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
it can,
so
yeah,
I think it's important that it's clear, and if you and Susan, who are like enmeshed in this, weren't clear on that paragraph, I think it's important that we edit it to for clarity. So
yeah.
how would
So
you,
yeah, so the only thing now that it shouldn't just say village centers. It should say village and village centers, because it's both those, as we've just seen, right?
correct?
And available is suitable for the amount of development. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair because we don't have a lot of open land in there, and not a lot of people are going to want to do infill, and we've already discussed why infill is difficult to accomplish with everything that we know.
Okay. Are we
Yeah.
ready to vote on the motion with these changes?
yes,
Yep.
I'm
Do you
ready.
want to tweak them a little more, Frederica? It's okay if you do.
No, I think this makes it more explicit, and I think that was important, so it doesn't just it's not too vague, so people say, well,
Yeah.
what did the CCRP say? So this is more specific, even for idiots like me who haven't really looked at the CCRP's future land use map recently.
You are anything but. Okay, so all those in favor of publishing with the edits that we just reviewed, say yes.
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 Yes. Excellent. Thank you so much. All right. The That's it. Our next meeting is scheduled for December 9th with Frederica Yu chairing. I did get an email from Chris Shaheen asking if the Affordable Housing Committee would, I don't know, support a municipal planning grant to fund additional analysis for a wastewater system in Riverside. I don't know exactly what that ask is. So I told him we're meeting again December 9th. I said that we could easily schedule another ad hoc meeting to address a specific ask once it's clear. So just know that you may get an email from me about that.
Sure.
And we'll figure it out then. Um, Otherwise, I would take a motion to adjourn.
So
I'll
moved.
move to adjourn. And seconded then.
Excellent. All those in favor say yes.
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 Good night, everybody. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for doing this. I
Yep.
appreciate
Good
it.
night. Thanks for pulling it
Okay.
Bye.
together as always.
Bye.
Thanks.